own disciplines. I thought we were, there's some reasons for it. As trying to get the same call at both ends, and we just didn't feel like we were getting some of those. But then our reaction to those allowed us to wander a little bit and not be on the same page for next possessions, and it was a constant all night for us, and not being able to everybody just gather each other together, move on. We're not challenging this, we're moving on, and I just thought we were poor in that area as a team tonight. And we were in the game. I didn't think we were playing very well to the half, and but in that third quarter, you could see it unravel in our lack of discipline in those areas. Jesse and Tyson are so important to us, and I thought Jesse's and Magnay draws 7 fouls because he just throws his arm under Jesse's arm, and he gets fouls, and we're trying to score over people, and whether we've just got to I'm never coached to say we're trying to draw fouls, and I thought we were trying to draw fouls on the break, and we couldn't finish some of those plays, although we just should have finished a bunch of those plays when we got out on the break. But yeah, we need those guys on the floor. We need Tice engaged, and we need Jesse on the floor. We need those two right now with people down, and so those two, and Finn having the foul trouble as well. We were trying to cover a lot of holes tonight, and we didn't do it very well.
Does it surprise you that you're not having that sort of collective rally, and considering the experience you have on the roster, that there isn't someone to say, hey, next possession, things like that?
Yeah, it is a little bit, and obviously, CG's a big part of that. He was, been ill all week, and he got up to play, but again, he's not in that perfect mode right now because he's just he's fatigued, and he's just trying to play basketball when he's sick right now, and so I think we've got other people in the group that can step up and get that done though.
Do you feel like over these last few weeks where you have been up and down, do you feel like there's a lack of sort of force and sort of pop and, I don't know, being dynamic? Do you feel like your team has been lacking that recently?
Yeah, I thought we lacked ability to create advantage tonight, and we've been doing that with speed. I didn't think we're really pushing to try and play at a higher tempo tonight, and we couldn't kind of get there. We were talking about there's just the pauses in our offense when we're best offensively, the ball's humming around, and right now, whether it was credit to their defense or we just stopped because they switched a little bit more, and we thought the ISO was the best option. But I really didn't like our offensive flow at all tonight.
Do you have concerns about sort of the shooting efficiency of this group right now? Some of your main perimeter threats outside of Tanner not shooting the ball at particularly good level. Do you have concerns there that if that doesn't come, then how are you going to generate offense consistently? Yeah,
for sure. When you look at when we're at our best, we were shooting the basketball, making 12, 13 threes a game, and we were doing it at a good rate. And it's certainly been the three ball certainly been a big part of our drop off in form. How can we keep generating better looks, and that's the part for me as a coach to say what kind of looks are we creating. Yes, we're going to make and miss shots, and you're going to go through waves of making and missing, but tonight we just didn't generate enough good looks.
Mel, what concerns you most about the way you guys operated that game? What's your main takeaway?
We just had a lapse. Like Dean said, we didn't come together with the calls and the way the game was being reffed and adjust to that. I think we were physical, and I think we actually played good defense. Got a couple undisciplined fouls at the end of clocks, sending them to the line, but overall I thought we played great defense, and we just didn't adjust to the way the refs were calling the game in the third, so I think it kind of set us back.
Dean mentioned the desire to make sure that Tyson and Jesse are on the floor and performing at a high level. How much do you take upon yourself as sort of one of the experienced guys on this team to make sure that those two guys are as engaged as possible?
Yeah, when I'm on the court, I try to get the guys to huddle up when those things are going on and try to get everybody back together. I think we did an okay job of that, but it's hard to do that when you're constantly huddling up from fouls and watching dudes shoot free throws for a whole quarter, so it's kind of tough. I think we did a good job of actually huddling up. We didn't have too many techs. I thought guys were going to get more techs just the way the calls were going, but I thought we did a good job.
Dean, you've usually done a good job of sticking to your process, no matter the outcome. But when you look at some of the outcomes over the past couple of weeks, Dean, do you consider, not wholesale changes, but do you consider sort of meaningful changes or changing things up in, maybe more meaningful or bigger ways than you normally would?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, the next 8-10 games or whatever, we know without Shea, we've got to do something, in that spot, and we know Tyson's got to play a lot more. And how does that adjust his game? Can we get the same juice out of him, for the amount of minutes that we've got to play him? Can he give us the defensive spark, or do we have to back it off a little bit? Right now with him, because we do need to play him 32, 33 minutes a game. So we'll adjust to that one. How Milton, the offense that we get into when Tyson's off the floor, and obviously what's Tyson? A +1 when he's on the floor tonight, and our minutes when he was off the floor weren't very good. And so, we've got to make sure we do a better job when he's off the floor.
Dean, is Chris doing the same level of training that he would normally do? And if so, is there a point where you might need him to sit down for a week just to get over this illness?
Yeah, obviously it's bounced back, a second time right now, and, he's a warrior. He gets himself up for games, and I wasn't sure how he was going to go tonight, and I thought he might play 3-minute hits and stuff, but we probably got a little bit more out of him than what I saw in practice this week. So he was right to play, but he's not 100%, and so he obviously hasn't practiced enough because he hasn't practiced all week, other than getting through shoot around a little bit and a little bit yesterday. So he's such a key to us, and we just got to get him healthy.
I think there was a timeout in the third quarter where Chris walked sort of to the back and he walked sort of out the door into the tunnel and then came back. Are there any concerns with him, or did you feel like, I don't know if you even noticed that, was frustration? Do you know what that was? Yeah.
We've had a number of people at different times if they need to vent a little bit to just get out of there and come back. And so, people have got their own processes to be able to, to re-engage. And so, if he was frustrated enough that he felt like it was a bad time for him to lead the team and go and gather himself and come back, I'm okay with that.
Dean, I wanted to ask you about the Owls. Obviously, you didn't have 5, but also a lot of guys with 4 or 3. How do you feel on the bench knowing that you have a lot of guys in foul trouble, guys reducing that? What's that feeling like?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. Go back and look at every call. I'm not one to go send edits in or do stuff with Scotty, but I just thought, anytime there's a 10 foul difference, and I thought our intent to want to attack the paint was pretty high tonight, and so you've got to look at the as you said, the force they're coming downhill with and the contact that they're creating, and are we doing a good enough job to get ourselves 30 free throws tonight where they were able to? And so just changes our lineup when those bigs are off the floor.
And I was just going to say, Dash had some positive minutes tonight. Is there any, I suppose, projection of him pushing those minutes up in the coming games?
Yeah, I got to continue to reward people that are playing well, and his job was to come in and guard Hamilton as much as he could tonight, and Tanner did an okay job, and Dash did an okay job. He's a really super talented player, and he's hard to stop. But I thought for the most part we did a pretty solid job with him.
Milton, obviously it's your first season here. You guys have a few home games when you're coming off that were your first time playing consistently out there. Are you excited to get out there and see the fan base out there? Because it's pretty good.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So you guys are going out to Bendigo for a few home games. Obviously, as your first season, you're excited to go out there, play for that home fan.
Yeah, I never been out there, so definitely when you play in the arenas away with that type of fan base, it's always fun to see what they're about and see the energy that they bring, and something we definitely need right now.
Dean, when you get smacked on the boards as you were tonight, is there things you do in game, like sort of on the run, to tidy that up or try and fix that, or does it really just come down to guys taking responsibility and accountability of that themselves?
Yeah, a great offensive rebounding team, and they did a hell of a job on the defensive boards tonight as well. To get beat by 21, and for us to only pick up 4-0 boards, where that number's been somewhere 17, 18 over the last few games, and if we're missing shots, we're picking up extra possessions, but. Again, maybe to me it's more about the shot quality and where we're shooting it from, and are we in positions to be in great offensive rebounding spots, plus the personnel on the floor as well. So, we haven't had a performance like that on the boards, I don't think, all year. So, hopefully that doesn't happen again.
How do you go about putting this in a review mirror now? Do you let the guys, sort of, refresh, reset over a couple of days over Christmas with their family, or do you're really drilling on those inefficiencies?
No, we have a review tomorrow, and our young guys will play, and I think obviously there's a lot of conversations we need to have before we get to Brisbane to to be a better version of ourselves than tonight.
Were you able to take in any of the open air during a contest like that?
Not during the contest, but certainly walking out there, I was like, I really enjoy this game, and just seeing the roof open. So just disappointed that we couldn't give our fans more to cheer about tonight.
Does that Brisbane game take on high importance now?
Oh, every game's important in this league, right? But if you come off a poor performance, you want to respond, and I thought they played with great passion the other night, and we're going to need a lot of that to make sure that we go up there and put in a great performance.
Excited to go up against head coach D-Mac?
Oh, for sure. Happy for him in the way he got his team to play the other night, and I'll be a champion at our club, and always excited to go and compete against D-Mac.